Well, it's about that time well, at least during the time right now, having some coffee. Sometimes a little too late by the time this gets up on the radio show for all the listeners, so you can get tuned in. But that's okay. As like E.B. Saint says, you could have a root beer. So, good morning to all the listeners, especially ones from last time. I'm sure it's the same usual suspects and more. Those that have commented here, we got Joe P., E.B. Saint, Scott F., Mr. Holster, Edward Petty, Bob Hartman, Rusty Allen, and hopefully we're all starting the day off with a good start here. So, just to talk about some stuff and things. I'm hoping I had to switch some stuff around with my Amazon account because I had recently encountered some suspicious activity with my card, and of course I've been using just my regular debit card for it, which is good and bad. The bad thing is it's really hard to keep track of everything that you use with your debit card out there, so when something goes kind of screwy, it's harder to track it down when you got like 3 pages worth of charges or the debit purchases on it. So what I've done now is I've got a specific card now for Amazon purchasing. I just got a credit card now, and I'll just have to pay it off at the end of the month whenever. So that way, at least I know I'll be a little bit. Well, one, I'll be cautious on not going crazy there, but at least I'll be able to regulate and know exactly what I put on there, what I've charged on there. So that's going to be easy. So if there's any discrepancies, I can definitely go right to the bank and say, "Hey, I didn't do this. This is not me. I didn't purchase this." So, not too sure if I want to, make a big old purchase on that card just yet. I'm still just kind of thinking. I'm really more set. I've been so torn between buying a camera online or just going somewhere in a store and purchasing it. Because if I get it from the store or something like that, at least if something is wrong, I can go back to the store and be like, this doesn't work out. Because the last time I bought a camera online recently, it totally didn't work out. It just wound up being a disaster and basically me throwing away money. So I'm just trying to go about that a little bit better and try to figure out what to do. Have a better approach to that. So that's where we are with that. So, anyway. I wanted to talk about the CMP 1911s. They've been showing up now. There's videos of people having them, and I actually got to see one. I actually saw one that came in from the CMP, and it's what I think is an over-embellished box, but whatever. But people are pretty much, it looks like they're picking them up for $1,100 or $10.50, something like that. Basically, you're talking well over $1,000. It's over $1,000. So I guess there's good and bad that I felt when I saw it. But I'd like to say this, stepping out right out of the gate when talking about this. I was trying to figure out how to really, chat about it, really. Let's say this. It was not what I expected, but at the same time, let's talk about this. We're now having more, which is great. We have a lot more people now that just say, "Hey, I got a World War II 1911 now." That is just amazing. It's like, oh, that's really cool. You got a lot of people now that they're coming in. They're sending them out. The people got them. People are holding on to them. So that's cool. I can't wait to see how that's going to change, because I'm telling you, I said it in the previous videos and stuff when it was just starting to take place, and it was more talk. Now it's actually people have them, and I actually saw one. So And there's a lot of videos on people unboxing theirs, which is fantastic. I love it. Yeah, all those guys that were trying to juice people for, $4,000 or whatever, make a house payment out of a sale on one of them. That's gone. Yeah, you can kiss that goodbye, because ain't nobody going to pay you that kind of money for that thing when they can go to the CMP and get one for 10, 50, 1,100 bucks, which is not cheap. I was hoping it would be cheaper. I was really hoping that those 1911s were going to come about for 500 bucks. I really was, but unfortunately that didn't happen. But they are out there. They're up for grabs. Like I said, let the market saturate a little bit. As these things start to just flood around and go around, you'll see it. You'll see them start to exchange hands. Because I think this is from what I saw, and most of the videos that I've been watching, is all these guns have been refinished, reworked either by the CMP or they were reworked at some point and just put in storage. They are all seem to be reparkerized with just a standard gray parkerizing. The one I saw, and multiple ones I saw photos of and videos of, had replacement parts on them. One I saw had a replaced slide stop, slide release. It was totally brand new, different one. So in that aspect, you really don't know what you're getting. You have no idea what you're getting. It could be any brand. I saw one that came through a video or a photo of one. It wasn't even any kind of brand. It was, I don't know, the slide was it just had some numbers on the slide, and that's it. I don't know what I'm not a virtuoso in this stuff, so maybe those numbers do add up to something or identify something, but it was nothing that I'm used to seeing, where you can usually see like Colt or Ithaca or Remington Rand or something like that. Didn't see anything like that. So interesting, but a lot of them, it was neat to see people with some Remington Rands, some Colts. That was really cool to actually see that, now that people are able to get a hold of some of those, and it's going to be something that you're going to want to, to me, it's a shooter. It's not really a collector's item, because of all the things that's been done to it. A collector's not going to want that. Not in the sense of all of it. There's absolutely no value to it, really. Yeah, it's still, but I mean, if you're looking at it through the value point, like I said, it's not really the value on it. But the cool factor is that, yes, it is a U.S. military issued pistol, and that's what it boils down to for me. That's the cool factor. You got a U.S. military pistol. That's what it is for me. That's the cool factor right there. I'm just ecstatic with joy, because they're out there now. They're going to be starting to be floating around, and it's going to be soon enough. It'll be easier to snag one up. It really will be. Eventually, you'll start to see these things. The more and more of them that are out there, the more of them they're going to be just floating around, and hopefully that price would drop a little bit. That $1,000 mark, or that $1,100. I just rounded off to $1,100. I hope that would drop a little bit, and it'll open up that door for us to maybe snag one for a little bit cheaper, or just in general, just if you really want one. I think you'll pay the $1,000, and just get one. But if I was gonna do that myself, I'd like to have a choice. I don't want to just send in that kind of money and just see what happens, see what I get. I want to be able to pick the one I want. That's what I would be waiting for, is just to go through and see like a shop or somebody that has a couple of them or a few of them, and just say, okay, well, the one I actually want will be this one. So that's what I would want to do. And now I'm not saying that I don't want one or anything like that. I do. It's they're cool. I think it's neat. I do want to certainly get one because it would be kind of neat to have that CMP 1911, and to have something like that to shoot. Because for me, the range 1911. It's just neat to be able to take something like that to the range and shoot history. It's really cool. So I couldn't be more excited. I'm just so thrilled about that. And yes, because I was one of those guys that I just, going back through time and all that, and it's like, when I wanted one, I didn't have one. I mean, I going up to a fellow a gun shop that had one, a couple of them, and given those kind of prices where it's like, well, those are I'm gonna want, it's like the numbers that were being thrown out on the table. It's just like, whoa, I can't do. There's just no way. That's pretty astronomical, but not anymore. Now that we got the CMP releasing them and everything, so like I said, I've hashed that out many times, and I couldn't be happier now to actually see those things coming out. So that's just amazing. And the other point, I have my inland over there, and yes, those inlands are up there in price. I did mine up with some paint and everything like that. It's cool. I like it. It's my like my range gun. It's just neat. But I'm also I'm feeling too, like the one thing that I don't like about it is the price tag. I think they're really high in just offering something like a Bear 1911. Where now you can look at it, well, why would you spend, Inland's MSRP of over 700 for a basic 1911 when I could spend a little bit more and not much more and now get the real deal from the CMP, a real, authentic government issued, 1911. That's got all the cool stampings on it. It was probably made by, I think like the Remington Rands are just super cool because that is a typewriter company. That wasn't even a gun company. So stuff like that I think is just super, super cool. Now, speaking of that, the one thing like I said is not really too thrilling for me is like especially the one I saw and I had in my hands. It doesn't have that cool kind of greenish parkerizing. It was just like it was like if you just painted it gray or just colored it with a pencil. So I don't know. Maybe that'll change. Maybe it'll. Maybe I don't know. But it was cool. It was. I mean, it wasn't bad. It certainly could be just totally worse. But anyhow, I'm still happy with it. I'm still happy with what I'm seeing. So, like I said, I just I want to be able to choose the one I'm going to buy if I'm going to shell out that kind of cash for it. So, anyhow, that's been my standpoint on it. But like I said, I'm just really happy. I'm really happy. I just can't. It's amazing to see all that. But the one thing I'm wanting to look at is those high powers. I've been more excited about that, and I believe it's the sauce or I don't know how to pronounce the name. There, Thesis or the sauce. I don't know. High powers, the Regent high powers. They're under $500. And the only thing I didn't like about it is the sights. The sights are not like the original high power sights. I don't know. They have their own kind of sight going on there, kind of strange. So I'm not sure what to think of that. And I know other people, and some people were saying too that you can't just throw any other sight on there because it's kind of like their own thing. They got the sauce or whatever have made their own, and it's not bad looking, but it's just I don't know. I'm not like I just would rather have the old original looking sights, but that's fine. But it's fine. Yeah, but it's cool. I do want to grab one of those, and I think I would buy one of those before I bought one of the CMP 1911s, just because I don't have a high power. Always, right now, currently, I've had one in the past, but I let it go, and I always did want another one. And plus, it's 9mm, and oddly enough, I don't know. They're easier to shoot at the range, not so jarring on the wrists. I know everybody, you can't believe you're saying that, but I don't know if it's just over the years of playing drums or not. But just trying to protect myself from future problems. But anyway, that the high power does look pretty slick. Also, the one thing I've been looking for my end frame, Smith & Wesson stainless steel 44 Magnum, the 629, is a set of those round butt grips with the finger grooves that are all smooth, that have that nice wood to them. I've been looking for those because, like, if you look at the other one, the original one, I don't know what they call it, like the combat grips or something like that. They're expensive. People want some serious dollars for those, but you can now see that people are reproducing those. People are remaking them, and I don't know. And I have a set that I have that are made in Thailand. They're fantastic, and that's another one that's another big gripe of mine is, like, these people, they're selling the grips, just those old wood grips. In some cases, it's like you see there and you're like, oh yeah, I want $300 for it. It's like what? Wait a minute, what happened here? That's so. If I can get a reproduction or somebody else that has now outsourced them and made them really well, I'm gonna get them. Let's see here. Type it in here because I found them on Amazon. I used to find them on eBay. So I typed in Smith & Wesson end frame grips because that's just what I'm looking for. And there you can see, like, if you like the Dirty Harry type look, there they are. There's plenty of them with the medallions. $60, $70, give or take. Amazon Prime right here. New Smith & Wesson end frame, grips right there. So wonderful, fantastic. Just to see those. I can even see some of the ones that look like the old school ones. Just looks great. Now you got to read the description really well and figure out, what they got, because some of them are a little funky, some of them are different. So I'm just really see, they have some with like a finger groove, and I'm wondering what the heck, I don't want the ones with the finger grooves on my standard type Dirty Harry grips. These ones here I'm looking at are square butt, just the regular ones, open back, finger groove. See, when they say finger groove, it makes me wonder, but they show pictures of it being just the standard, which that's what I want. So, and they have a little number on the bottom, NSW13, and that's what they have it listed by Handy Craft Grips. $74.49 on these, a little bit more pricey, but hey, that beats what? The 300 whatever they're wanting for those. That to me, that's that beats that for sure. They even have some round butt ones here for a K-frame that I kind of wanted something like that to put on my Model 19 snubby. Wanted to try those out and put those on there, but anyway. But yeah, it's neat. It's really cool to see these coming out here. You have an option to buy some original style looking grips without breaking the bank at somebody at a gun show looking to put a down payment on a Ferrari. But also, I noticed, I see Pachmeyer's got one that's really close to what I want. They do. Let me see here. Now that one's checkered. I don't want checkered, but they call them the Renegade Laminate. Let's see, that one's checkered though. Don't want checkered. I really. It's just the way the old school ones look is what I'm going after here. But and people, again, I mean, they just want way too much money from. I just wish that whoever's doing these, or people that are doing these, I really wish they would look at stuff that the other ones because you could make the other ones really easily. One of the other things I want to talk about was the guys that in China and stuff, they're making the switchblades. Ah, man, I wish they would make the one from that Batwing one from Hellraiser. That is just that is the coolest looking switchblade ever, and they're so rare, and they're really just a cheapy thing. They were not very expensive. They were cheapy. They broke. I wish they would just. Oh man, I wish you could get one of those. Make one of those. Oh, here we go. Here's a Pachmeyer end frame smooth wood. That's very similar to what I want. You got the finger grooves, nice wood going on here. $32, free shipping. Oh my gosh, look at that. It's got a 4-star rating. Let's see here, and I believe it is. See, it's for a round butt. Now, I don't know what these people are saying. They said, not sure, they didn't fit my 629 round butt, had a 1/8 separation in the finger grooves. Sometimes a little bit of sandpaper and self-help, you might need to fit them a little bit better, but you have nothing but really good, nothing but really good ratings here. But see, some of these people are trying to put them on some high-tech tactical, guns. I have old school, simple the way it was. None of this, Terminator-looking Star Wars stuff that they're trying to do. Here's a person is like, very disappointed with the description. They did not state it was for round butt. Well, if you're familiar with the way the grips are, immediately I can tell you just by looking at the way the style of this grip is, the first impression it gives me is it is for a round butt. If you have the square butt stuff, you know right away how the grip is going to look. You can even tell these other ones that are for square butts they modified to somewhat round off on the bottom there. You can even still tell those are for square butts because the way they shape them. But I don't know. Get a Smith & Wesson standard catalog and read up on what you have. I guess while everybody Googles it these days, I don't know. I still have catalogs and books. What can I say? Thanks for tuning in, guys. Appreciate it, and enjoy your weekend.